Happy Victory Tuesday, Vikings fans, and welcome in the Vikings Now by Chad Sports. My name is Patrick Seatman, and coming up on today's show, I have what Stephen A. had to say about the Minnesota Vikings beating the Bears last night, as along with Shannon Sharpe. And then also, I got my top plays from the Bears game. We're going to start doing this every day after the game as our PM video for you guys. We're just going to go over the top plays from yesterday's game. But before we dive into that, listen, our toughest competition in the NFC North, in my opinion, is still the Detroit Lions. And right now, I was looking at the analytics here at Chat Sports, and our Lions channel has around 35,000 more subs than we do. So if you guys haven't already, I know it's a lofty goal to catch them in subscribers, but if you guys haven't, please help us out here and hit that sub button for you guys don't miss out on anything around your Minnesota Vikings. Now, quickly, before we dive into what Shannon Sharpe and Stephen A. Smith had to say about the Vikings, I do want to highlight one awesome throw from Darnold last night. Then we'll go over some other big-time plays later on in the game. But this clip's been flying around Twitter. Actually, PFF graded out Darnold as having no big-time throws. If this isn't a big-time throw, I don't know what is. But Darnold clearly in the pocket, and he's trying to target JJ, as you guys see, coming on that crossing route. And the ball is already released at the left hash. And then look at this next still shot here. This is a tight window throw. I mean, this is just elite stuff from Darnold. He's great at attacking over the middle of the field, and obviously ended up resulting in a Justin Jefferson catch down at the 1-yard line. But we'll dive into more top plays from the game. But let's share with you guys what Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharpe had to say about the game last night. So Stephen A. started off saying, you win 7 straight, you win 7 straight. And in the case of Addison and Jefferson, you know how elite those weapons can be. And then you got Brian Flores leading that defense, so nobody look at them and can dismiss this team. The question for me is Sam Darnold. Can I believe in this dude? Now, something has happened. You got to look at Kevin O'Connell and see how effective he is with quarterbacks. Now you are saying maybe this isn't a fluke. Maybe Sam Darnold has elevated his play and he is here to stay because that coach beside him comes down to this. Do you believe this is sustainable? I got to see it in the postseason. Now, I will say, Stephen A., I agree with what you're saying in terms of, like, yes, we have to see Sam Darnold in the postseason. I'm not just gonna get up on here and say, oh, no doubt Sam Darnold's going to be a great postseason performer. But if you just look at what he has done this season, and specifically in big-time games, he has played his tail off. Like, even against the Lions back in Week 7, I thought Darnold played a good game. He lit up the Green Bay Packers back in Lambeau in Week 4 it was. So I think Darnold, when the stage has been elevated, I don't really see him as a guy that's going to crumble. And, if we just remember on who Sam Darnold is, like this guy was a blue chip prospect coming out of high school. He went to USC. He turned USC around. And this guy was a top 3 pick for a reason. Not just because of the tangibles, but the intangibles. People viewed him as a true big-time player who can rise to the occasion. And I think that could happen this year in the playoffs. But this is what Shannon Sharpe had to respond with to Stephen A. Smith saying prior to Detroit having all these injuries, we would say no way in terms of the Vikings competing with them. Now, do we believe they can go to Philly and overtake Philly? I do not. I think Philly is the best team in the NFC and NFL. The offensive line is good, not great, talking about the Vikings, but the question is that this Sam Darnold we have seen, can he do it in the postseason? I think Minnesota and Green Bay could easily overtake Detroit. But he also says, I believe in I believe in Jordan Love, more than Sam Darnold. And, Shannon, I hear you. I get it. Jordan Love did it last season in Dallas in the postseason. And I think Jordan Love's a big-time performer as well. But also just throwing it out there that the Vikings have no shot to go to Philly and win that football game, I just disagree with that. And also, I said this on the video earlier. I don't think that game is going to be in Philly. I think that game is going to be in Minnesota because I'm calling it right now. Even though the Vikings only have a 13% chance to land the number 1 seed, I think they're going to do it. And if they just win out, they have a 99% chance to get the number 1 seed in the NFC. If they just handle their business in Seattle, Green Bay at home, and then you are going to have to go have an offensive explosion in Detroit, we should be talking about the Vikings as the number 1 seed in the NFC. And I think that really matters because going to Philly when it's cold out and you got that run game, you got that crowd, you got that defense hyped up, that is a tough place to play. But on the other hand, if you're Philly and you got to go to the bank, deal with that crowd as loud as they get in that stadium. Shout out to all the Vikings fans who attend those games. I wish I could be a part of you guys. But obviously, we have to do our watch parties here on the channel. But I think the crowd noise is a big-time factor in this. And plus, with how Brian Flores runs his defense, that typical mug look, and you're the quarterback, and you have the crowd at a playoff atmosphere, at an NFC championship atmosphere, and you're trying to pick and choose who's coming. I think it could be a long day for those guys over there in Philadelphia. And I really do believe it. I think the Vikings are going to get the number 1 seed, and I think they will be in the Super Bowl. I'm going to say it right now. I'm ready to get my heart broken. I know you could say I'm biased. I'm drinking too much purple Kool-Aid, but I believe in Kevin O'Connell. I believe in this team, and I really think Kevin O'Connell eventually is going to get a Super Bowl ring here in Minnesota. Will it be this year? I think he'll have a chance to play for that down in New Orleans this season. But I'll ask you guys this. What say you on this one? Will the Vikings win the NFC North this season? Give me a Y for yes or give me an M for no down below in the comment section. You guys let me know your thoughts down below. And coming up on the second half, I got more top plays from the Bears game yesterday, so stay tuned for that. But before I do so, I do want to tell you guys about today's sponsor, and that is actually Factor Meals. If you guys head to factormeals.com/50VikingsChat and use code 50VikingsChat, you guys will get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. That's code 50VikingsChat at factormeals.com/50VikingsChat to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping while your subscription is active. Now, notice how the days are shorter this time of the year, but your to-do list aren't. Power through your busy days with Factor's no prep, no mess meals. From breakfast to dinner and anything in between, Factor has easy options to keep you fueled and feeling your best. Whether you like your routine or enjoy mixing things up, Factor has you covered with 35 delicious meals every week and 60 additional convenience options that you can add to your box, like keto cookies, pressed juices, and smoothies. So don't let these shorter days slow you down. Stay energized with America's #1 ready-to-eat meal delivery service. Now, I have a busy lifestyle here covering the Minnesota Vikings, and sometimes I don't feel like, fully cooking a meal when I get off work, and that's when Factor comes into play, and it has completely changed my life. So I really suggest you guys hit that link in the comment section and description of today's show and head to factormeals.com/50VikingsChat. Use code 50VikingsChat to get 50% off. Give them some love. You guys will get some free shipping as well. If you, again, use code 50VikingsChat at factormeals.com/50VikingsChat. Get 50% off your first box plus free shipping while your subscription is active. All right, let's dive into the plays here. We're going to highlight first man of the hour. I think the second best player on the Vikings roster besides Justin Jefferson, and that's going to be Jonathan Grenard. So this is the strip sack he had against Caleb Williams. See him lined up right over there next to Harrison Smith and Patrick Jones, and this was a hell of a move. First off, Bears, 3rd and 9. Leaving him one-on-one with a backup left tackle. Not the best choice. I mean, look at the left tackle right here. I mean, he's falling on his face. Just embarrassing stuff. But then Grenard, he got to the quarterback, absolutely destroyed Caleb. And this play really, turned the tide of the game, where I think it was almost the Vikings going big bro, little bro with the Bears, where they're saying, hey, you guys can't play with us. I know you got a lot of talent on your roster, but we're just a more complete team, and we make big plays in big-time moments. And that's what this was for number 58. He's been a revelation this season, really one of the best free agent pickups of the whole year. But I do also want to highlight Jefferson's touchdown. So typical Vikings, they motion Naylor to the left side of the field. They got Bunch over there, and they're setting up a play action. Now, one thing to note, on this drive, the Vikings were running the ball extremely, extremely well. So it was a good play call by Kevin O'Connell to get this linebacker right here. I think there's actually Kevin Byard, the safety, was up in the box trying to stop the run. And then what did that open up? Well, you see Byard right here. He's jumping for joy. Sam Darnold just went over the top. And actually, funny enough, out of every touchdown in Jefferson's career, this was the one he was the most open on in the end zone. I mean, look at all that space. Great play design, great play call by Kevin O'Connell. Just, stuff you love to see. But let's also talk about this play. Want to show some love to Dallas Turner. This was a nasty move right here. So you see him lined up on the wide side. He's going one-on-one with Darnell Wright, a very good right tackle for the Chicago Bears. And, he kind of hit a little, I'm going to say this, a down and just explode to the quarterback move. He almost hit the deck. His knee actually ends up hitting the ground on this play. If we could play the video here. But Dallas Turner, he got off the line fast, and he was able to sack Caleb Williams. Now, I think he is a guy where once this postseason comes around, where he could be a huge X factor. Because if you just throw him in with Patrick Jones, Van Ginkel, and Grenard, like the Vikings got one of the best, quad edge rushers, however you want to call it, in the National Football League. I think he's going to be big time in this playoff run. So really want to give some love to Dallas Turner. Obviously, he probably expected to be playing a whole lot more this season, and, that hasn't been the case. But I still think he is a guy, I believe in him being a potential blue chipper eventually in his NFL career. So, wanted to show some love to number 15 on that one. But hey, if you guys made it to the end of today's show, just give me an F Detroit down below in the comment section. This will be a real one roll call as we prepare for Week 18 versus the Detroit Lions. But that's my Twitter at the bottom. Follow me over there. See you guys next time, as always.